Good afternoon, guys. This is Dr. Christopher Liu, real estate entrepreneur, investor. We're here at day 2 of the 2018 SEAK Non-Clinical Career Conference for Physicians. Day 1 was amazing. I mentored over 50 individuals, sold over 15 copies of my book, signed up 3 private one-on-one coaching clients. Day 2 was going to be equally amazing. This morning I privately coached over 25 individuals. My speech is an hour. It's on how I quit my lucrative medical career and achieve financial freedom using real estate. I'm anticipating a huge show up. I'm looking to motivate, inspire, and educate the next generation coming after me, and looking to make an impact in today's world. Thanks.
Okay guys, the grand finale. The next Donald Trump, no, just kidding. Opportunities for physicians in real estate investing. Dr. Chris Liu. Chris is a retired orthopedic surgeon turned residential real estate entrepreneur who has over 10 years of investing experience in buying, selling, renovating, leasing, and managing over $1 million of Houston real estate over the past 10 years. Chris focuses on the acquisition, renovation, and leasing of condo units for professional clientele. In addition to his turnkey real estate investment business, Dr. Liu's other medical activities include telemedicine, cryptocurrency investing, that's going to be interesting, and professional speaking writing. Chris earned his MD PhD from the Medical Scientist Training Program through the joint Baylor College of Medicine, Rice University Biomedical Engineering Department. Dr. Liu is a SEAK alumnus. Please give a warm SEAK welcome to Dr. Chris Liu.
Good afternoon. I want to thank SEAK for bringing me out here. I want to thank you guys for staying till the very end. And I want to share my story today of how I quit my lucrative medical career and achieved financial freedom using real estate. I've talked to a number of you this whole weekend. For the ones I wasn't able to get to, I apologize. I'm going to give you my contact information. Email me. I'm very generous with my time. I want everybody in here to do well. And this is how we'll structure it. We have 15 minutes, so 30 to 40 minutes is going to be the presentation. I'm going to give you, presentation is for everyone from beginners, and some already own apartment buildings, so that's wonderful. But I'm going to give you tidbits, pointers on how you can use that to achieve your own financial freedom. We'll also spend like 10 minutes for Q&A. That's going to serve as a framework for what the notes are in your handout. Apart from that, I want to continue our interaction. I'm giving away a free webinar just on Airbnb, generating passive income. Apart from that, I wouldn't be an entrepreneur if I didn't plug my book or my private coaching. If you stay till the very end, I'll tell you about it. But I'm going to tell you my story of how I started from an unhappy medical doctor, fulfilling people's expectations, to become an entrepreneur, and eventually being able to retire at the age of 38. And I want to inspire, educate, motivate you. Everybody in this room has what it takes to succeed. We're all physicians, we're all doing well. But real estate is only one vehicle. We've heard so many different ways of doing things, and I'm going to show you what the beauty of real estate is for an entrepreneur. We'll next focus on your niche market, your clientele, what target properties, how I market, advertise my properties. And then I'm going to show you how I use technology, social media platforms to scale, automate, grow my business, how I manage a virtual team from anywhere in the world. So I've always been an entrepreneur ever since I can remember. In elementary school, my friends teased me. They called me the bubblegum hustler because I got bubblegum and I was always finding a way to make a quick buck. My mom always yelled at me. She said I needed to focus more, but I just had so many various interests, passions. Medicine was only one of them. But by middle school, I was trading baseball cards and selling them. And so by high school, I was able to start learning about the public equity markets, investing, trading in stocks. This continued during the 90s tech boom. I taught myself how to use options. A great book, if you're interested, is Getting Started in Options. That book changed my life. It showed me how to use calls and puts to protect my portfolio and enhance my gains. So I had this innate entrepreneurial sense. I really enjoyed creative things, but I was torn because I was torn in 2 directions. I had On one direction, I was a businessman. Ever since I can remember, all the books I read were about these great business titans. But my parents wanted me and my brother to become physicians. So I didn't know any better on high school, so I followed someone else's dream for 10 years. So fast forward to medical school. This is the very first investment condo that I acquired during my first year of medical school. And I tell this story to the clients I talked to this weekend. I'll give you some stats. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,500 square feet. Combined expenses were less than $1,000. And to give you a sense, and this is only in the Houston market because I primarily focused there, but combined expenses for a similar apartment in that area was $1,500. You're actually saving money by becoming a homeowner. I rented out the other room to my friends and classmates, and that passive income was enough to pay off my initial investment, which I purchased this condo for $60,000 back in the early days. It was just innate. Everywhere I went, if I wasn't studying or in the hospital, I was out in the field talking to realtors, looking at properties. All the people at Home Depot, Lowe's, they knew me by my first name. All the specials, like Halloween, Christmas, I knew everything. And then I eventually renovated this property and sold it back in 2016 for twice what I paid for. So it was just perfect timing. But again, I was torn. I had this dream, but I had parental expectations, pressure to be a physician. So what did I do to satisfy these really high expectations? I chose really a demanding, competitive, lucrative specialty. This is University Hospital, the major level 1 trauma center in northern New Jersey. And to give you a sense of what I was going through, I was more interested in building something, creating something. I wanted to be what I was always reading about. At this time, I was reading about Bill Gates and how he built Microsoft, and Steve Jobs and Apple. And each accolade and each day that I lived during residency was just a further mask around which I was building an ego. It quickly became apparent that where I wanted to be and where the traditional medical path was taking me was in completely opposite directions. The 120 plus hour work weeks, staying up 40 hours straight. This is great if you're training to be an orthopedic surgeon, but I was more interested in a creative avenue. Anybody remember September 15, 2008? Do you know, anybody remember that date? What happened? Lehman, right? Yes. The day that Lehman filed for bankruptcy, all over CNBC, Bloomberg, the financial markets are collapsing. My life is collapsing. I walk into my chairman's office and I resigned. So that was one of the scariest moments of my life, but it was very liberating because that was the day that I was able to take control and take my life back and really find what my purpose and destiny in life was. Tony Robbins, he said, we all have decision forks, and in these moments of decision, what we decide becomes our destiny. So I want to take you to one of the darkest moments, 2008, living someone else's dream. You invest over 10 years, all that hard work, all that studying, all that sacrifice, down the drain, just like that. I didn't talk to my dad for 2 years, stuck in the middle of winter. I had no mentor. This was back when I didn't even know about SEAK or all these great networks. That's what I'm saying. The tools we have today can get us so much faster to where we want to be. And many times I decided, I thought about ending it all, but life has a way of pushing you so that you achieve your dream. Alone, cold, angry, confused, I decided during this time that I had already achieved success, but I wanted to search for meaning and fulfillment. And I decided that I burned all my boats and gave myself no options. And I didn't want to be at the end of my life and just look back with just regret. I also promised myself that I was going to give back to the generations coming after me in a significant way, so that the struggles that I went through, I would be able to point you guys or the people that were seeking it in the right direction. They wouldn't have to start from scratch like I did. And that's why I'm here today, to give back to you. So fast forward 2018. It's an awesome time. I built my company, took me 10 years, retired 2 years ago. Now I'm trying to find the best way to give back and make the most significant contribution. That's why I'm up here. Built a global business brand from a side hustle. My clients come from a boutique set of countries from 5 different continents. But I never would have imagined that before the age of 40 I would be retired, because my original plan was to retire at the age of 65. But that's how powerful, once you decide and use these leverage points and be different, take that courage, take the first step. Even though I wasted 10 years of my life fulfilling some arbitrary expectation, the last 10 years that I spent building my company set me ahead by 25 years, and I want the same for you as well. All of my naysayers, all the people that came out, they thought I was crazy, dumb, stupid, leaving a life of stability, prestige to pursue a rockier, more uncertain path. But I kept at it. My strategy was just buy 1 investment unit every year, and I started to gain traction, I started to gain success. And soon I started getting lots of requests for help, and a lot of parents were asking me to help their kids with their college applications or med school applications. Med students were reaching out to me to help them with their residency essay. And I was able to get mentored by some very influential people by networking at these types of events. And I wouldn't be an entrepreneur if I didn't plug my book. But this book, it's on Amazon. It's a 25% discount for SEAK attendees this weekend only. It goes into more detail of this presentation as well as one of your notes. But going back to real estate. Real estate is the perfect vehicle for those seeking an entrepreneurial lifestyle. And why is that? Because there are, one is you have 100% control. You have a myriad of options. Every person I've talked to has used different strategies, and my strategy may not necessarily work for you, but somehow they've figured out how to make it work for them. It really is, you're able to make it your own. So the thing I want you to take away is that the decision point is between an employee versus an entrepreneur, and those 2 decision points. So you want to think about time. That's your biggest ally, and that's your biggest enemy. Because as an employee, you're getting an hourly salary. You're getting paid an hourly wage. You're trading one-on-one. Some of you love what you do, some of you hate what you do. But it's not scalable. You're just trading your time to make a living. As an entrepreneur, you're taking a significant more risk, but what you're doing is you're creating value for the marketplace. What you're doing is you're taking a significant risk, but you have that much leverage. So with the 24 hours, you can automate, you can outsource, you can build teams, you can your income potential is unlimited because you're able to leverage that 24 hours using the various tools and options that you have. And the beauty about real estate is that you're not coming up with a new product, you're not coming up with a new device, invention, you're tapping into an existing market and learning how to monetize it. So that's the really beautiful thing about it. You're making money while you sleep. It's appreciating, it's providing cash flow, severing the relationship between time and money. All of your rehab, your renovations can be depreciated over time. And tax-wise, especially for physicians, as an entrepreneur, paying 20 to 30% in taxes, sometimes less. As in the higher income brackets, 40, 50, sometimes higher. The other thing is that it's very flexible. So if you're looking to start out part-time, full-time, I was starting out 1 to 2 hours per week as a medical student. And I was able to get 2 investment units under my belt. So is it good for you? I coach my private clients to answer these 2 questions. Personality type and skill sets. And we'll go into each one. So personality type. From a personal standpoint, I wanted to be my own boss. I couldn't imagine myself working for someone. I wanted to be in the driver's seat. What motivated me was always building businesses and using technology to automate make things more efficient, to scale things, and my passion was just creating something big and something significant. So what is it for you? Are you more of a people-driven person? Are you you're looking for flexible work hours? Real estate has all of these different options depending on what particular personality type you are. Skill sets, I'll go into that. Before the advent of social media, YouTube, I was always playing with photographs and videos. I was sending my emails and videos through email, to direct email marketing, to tell people about my units, to advertise them. But once I took the leap and became a full-time entrepreneur, that's when YouTube and social media were coming online. So I was able to leverage that skill set onto technology platforms to further scale my business. For you, you may enjoy sitting across a table, negotiating deals. You may enjoy getting up in front of clients, pitching, raising capital. You have to decide what skill sets, what personalities best suit you so that you can succeed in this field. I'll go into why I get into specifically condominiums. So a lot of you ask what types of units. I only invest in single condominiums, 1 to 2 bedrooms, and you'll see why is because Ray Dalio said that you want to, and Warren Buffett and all these great guys, the number one rule investing is don't lose money. It's not to make money. People think you get into investing to make money, but you're actually doing it to not lose money. So you do that by managing risk. So condominiums are a lot easier to get into. It's smaller barriers of entry. Instead of buying a $300,000, $400,000 unit, I'd rather buy 4 $100,000 units to hedge my risk. So that if one of that 100,000 goes bad, you still have the other 3. That's the primary reason why. And plus, I was successful at it as a medical student. Some people want to target families, so single families, or some people love commercial apartments. That's the beauty of it. It's so flexible. And as I've narrowed my focus, I've been able to really scale and grow my business. My clientele have gotten so much better, and all of my successes, all of my bookings are through word of mouth and referrals rather than me having to directly go and knock on people's doors and sell my rooms and my places. I'm going to get into I'm going to highlight some of my properties to illustrate some of the concepts I want to emphasize. From photos to videos, I've developed a love for design and decoration. So this was the middle picture there is a unit I recently purchased this summer and renovated. It's now rented out, but I really enjoy playing with the lighting, the furnishing, the space to create a modern, comfortable, luxurious style and appeal that's affordable for professional clientele. And then the other issue is that with condominiums, I've made small, focused, strategic bets that paid off big rather than making one huge bet that may or may not have paid off. So that's the beauty of my approach and style. Some people may like that, some people may not, but that was just the way I did it. They're all strategically located, strategically marketed to a target audience. Fully furnished, all amenities included. And I've told some of you guys that I'm not just marketing and selling a room, I'm selling an experience. So that whole, it's not just, and that's what creates the customer loyalty, the lifetime value of the customer. I'm going to give you some tidbits. So for those who have never gone into real estate, I strongly don't take very small calculated risks. Don't take huge bets. Educate yourself. A great book that I've recommended it's called Multiple Streams of Income. That's a great book. That also changed my life. And also Robert Kiyosaki, all of his books are wonderful. But as a beginner, start out small. If you have a home, rent out one room, do a renovation. Just don't put too much eggs in one basket, and just start to slowly diversify yourself rather than just taking one huge leap. For the more advanced guys, renovate, you just have to take action every day. The biggest bang for my buck I found, and everybody probably knows this, is that the kitchen and bathroom give you the biggest return. So focus your efforts on there as well. The other thing is when hiring contractors, who here has had really bad experiences with contractors? Yeah, me too. So one way I do that is just keep an eye on them. Then also with the internet, just all the reviews, with the internet, it's just reputation and trust. You've been able to establish a baseline. The other thing is with hiring these guys, always look for good character first, not their skill, but their character. They show up on time, are they reliable? Everything you would want in a physician or a resident, that's what I'm looking for. And once I find them, I pay them a little bit more so that they'll help me. So it's like a cost of doing business, but it'll save you so many problems and so many hassles down the road. Treat your employees, treat your workers well. Financing. So financing, that's been a major question this whole weekend, and don't have a lot, but I'll just give you some tidbits. Contact me, email me. One is, it's a major barrier, it's a major obstacle, but it's also one where you can get very creative. Houston real estate market is a little bit different because it's not like California, it's not like Chicago, New York, so it's a little bit easier to find better properties for lower prices. But so the last 7-8 years, the appreciation has gone up pretty significantly. It's still affordable, but it's starting to slow down. Just keep that in mind as well. When I was coaching my clients, I've narrowed it down because as physicians, as a cohort, we're actually on the opposite end of the spectrum. Majority of people have a lot of time, but very limited access to capital. But as physicians, we're actually the opposite. We're stressed for time, but have a lot of capital. So we're trying to figure out ways. I help my clients figure out ways that they can free up their time, get more freedom. Again, I offer private coaching. It's $2,000 for 3 months. It's 50% off for SEAK. I walk you through everything. I tailor it individually. Options for leveraging, you have bank financing, you can do home equity loan, you can do line of credit, you can raise capital, you can also use your retirement accounts, you can use your life insurance accounts. In terms of me personally, I'll tell you, I use a combination, and I don't do any of the creative financing, I just do standard bank financing. So you're 20, 25, 30% down, finance the rest, and sometimes if the property is very attractive and reasonably priced, usually less than $100,000, I usually just pay cash. And paying with cash will be, you save a lot more time and you have a lot of higher negotiating power using cash, and you also bypass the banks. But again, there are various ways of financing, so that's where you can get creative. I'm gonna get into the marketing part. The other thing is how do you protect your risk? I'll give you an example. In Texas, and it's different for each state, but in Texas, so each property I have, put it under an entity. But this is for Texas only, so it's different for each state. Buy insurance on the unit. I also have a personal umbrella policy, and also hire a good legal team. So ideally a tax attorney and then also a liability lawyer. So those two, and also an accountant too. But 84% of millennials surveyed said that user content influenced their decision to buy. So I want to ask you 2 questions. The first question, when was the last time you bought something through infomercials, radio, TV, direct ads, direct mail, versus something like on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? And my guess is probably not very many people bought through traditional media markets. So we're moving from an age where we're moving from a price transactional model to a model where the price and transaction are enveloped within a relationship and with an experience. And how do we do that? Why is it that the customer landscape is changing? It's because content. And what is it about content that makes people buy and become lifelong clients, loyal customers? It's because content, we're giving information, we're establishing credibility, rapport, trust, we're sharing vulnerabilities. And Think about Starbucks, Amazon, Apple, all these great companies. They understand the power of branding and how to use marketing to appeal to the identities and experience of the consumer. But how does it relate to real estate, and how do I use my business? I take photos and videos. I'm using social media, Facebook Live, Instagram, YouTube, and engaging with my clients. I'm using Airbnb to reach clients from all over the world. And because of this, you have a lot more scale, you have a lot more leverage. Clients can reach out to you from anywhere. You can reach out to them. It's been able to automate things. I've saved tens and tens of thousands of dollars using online platforms. So for rentals, I don't go through a realtor. I use word of mouth, email, referrals. And with this, we're using modern day technology to build a story and to build a brand, to create that customer attraction, to create that customer loyalty. I've been able to build and scale a very highly reputable brand with my units, and it's reached a boutique set of clients, professional clients from 5 different continents that I manage from anywhere in the world. And so using these platforms, I've been able to sever the relationship between time, money, design a lifestyle that suits me, that enables me to pursue a life full of meaning and fulfillment rather than success, rather than working with or people or for someone I don't like, and not needing to follow this endless stream of red tape, rules, and regulations, having no say, control, or power. And that's so powerful because now we can use everything, your network, everything you've learned here, and you can take it and use it to take control of your life back. Some benefits, this is just me. Almost zero overhead. I have a home office library in my home that me and my wife have. No employees, virtual team, automate everything, marketing, sales, no commute, better on the environment, save on gas, and complete freedom. I've taken my existing real estate portfolio of 10 units. I've sold off 4 to free up more time so I can do engagements like this where I can share my message, inspire, motivate, help others who are on the same path towards financial freedom. Some testimonials. Some of the rates of return, really great returns because I purchased them back in 08, 09, and throughout. Now that it's starting to cool off, so be careful when you're purchasing. Really know your market, do your due diligence, do your research. Don't invest in something you don't know or understand, and don't bet the house. Make these small calculated bets that have the potential to pay off big, but even if they don't, it's not a loss. Monthly cash flow, paid off some of the properties using my 1 to 2 hour week per week system. Great relationships. My clients, all medical students, some of them also worked for Fortune 500 brands, Goldman Sachs. No issue, like really, once I honed in on a professional clientele, I didn't have any issues. No late rents, no damaged properties. In fact, some of them even cleaned up the unit for the next person. That's how wonderful professional clientele are, which is all of us in the room. And I mentioned that, so I spent the last 10 years growing my company, my business to where I was able to retire. But I still want to think about what is the best way to give back and make the greatest contribution to the most number of people. I was getting a lot of invitations for help, for mentorship, for coaching. And if you've gotten a lot of value of this, I hope you have. We're nearing the end of my talk. If you've gotten a lot of value, just please tell your friends about me. Find me on social media, like my Facebook page, sign up for my email list. Again, I'm very generous with my time, and I like to give away information specific to my clients that will help them in the future. You can also purchase my book. It's on Amazon, or sign up for my coaching. And then sign up on the bottom. Just email that email down there. It's in your handout as well if you're interested in. I'm giving a webinar on how to use Airbnb to generate more passive income. So with short-term rentals, Airbnb, you can generate a lot more, significantly more passive income compared to your standard leasing rentals. Just sign up. It'll probably be in November once I get the full sign-up list. I'll give you a freebie So what was I really after in life? I thought pleasing my parents, fulfilling their dreams was going to bring me happiness and fulfillment, but it just brought me more and more away from my destiny. So I was really after financial freedom, the ability to do what I want, pursue what I want, make an impact, a significant difference in the world. I was also after freedom from emotional manipulation, guilt, shame, toxic environments, toxic people. And I found it all by really taking that first step and deciding that I didn't want to pursue a career in orthopedics just for the accolades. That wasn't me. I wanted to be a creative entrepreneur, and that was through real estate. And I wanted to be able to use my creative passions, contribute, and get compensated for my story, for my brand, and to truly impact people in a significant way, in ways that I didn't, that I couldn't have done by being a surgeon. But I had to go through 10 years of turmoil, wasted dreams, 10 years of reinventing myself in order so that I could reach those at that point. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to communicate from that state. So I didn't know about SEAK 10 years ago, and so all I had was an idea, and I had a dream, but I had no mentor. I had all my naysayers, just people just nonstop criticism. And sometimes I wish that I actually envy every one of you, because sometimes I wish I were in your shoes, because I wish that when I was going through this, I had SEAK, because the tools and resources that we have available to us in these days can get us to where we want to be that much faster. So if I were to be in your shoes and start over again, it would probably take me 5 to 6 years versus 10 years. So you're in a great position. My number one advice to you is take daily action. If you're 0.1% better, 1% better, then the day is a win. And we're moving from these paradigms, these remnants of the industrial age, where everything was about scarcity, everything was about fear, everything was about the safe journey. It takes forever to, under these paradigms in the new world, because right now we're valuing how much time we have, how much health we have, the quality of our relationships, our ability to pursue our dreams, our passions, freedom, opportunity. So you have two enemies against yourself. It's only time and yourself, and it's not competition with others. We should be collaborating and networking with each other. And yourself is in terms of your doubts, your fears, your inability to take action. Those are the things, your inertia, those are the things that are keeping you from doing, because we're just so socially ingrained that we have to follow this stepwise path to a stable career, and that's going to lead to a lifelong idea of fulfillment and success. But that's really not the case. So yeah, the hardest part is just having the courage to not care what people think, to be different, and take the first step. So I want to end with this. I mentioned at the beginning of my talk that I didn't want to end my life with regret. I didn't want to look back and just see like I wasted this all my time. But that was because in college I was so focused on getting into medical school that I gave up the opportunity to study abroad for a semester in Europe. And that's, to this day, was one of the biggest regrets I ever had. Experience in Europe probably would have been so much better than that biochemistry course, so much more fun. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. But 10 years ago, unhappy, I was 29 years old. I thought I had everything, but I was on the brink of ending it all. So I had to have that courage to step out, and you have that same power within you. You have one choice. Which life will you choose? I want to thank you for your time, your attention. I really enjoyed talking with all of you. For the ones I didn't get to talk one-on-one, this is my way of reaching you. This is better leverage, better scale. And just reach out to me, and thanks for listening. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Yeah, good question. So his question was, what are local tools for understanding real estate markets. For listings, to find listings, I use just standard MLS. For Houston, it's called har.com. Zillow and Redfin are really good. Redfin is really good because it shows you the price, like when it was bought, how much it was bought for, and it just shows you the entire chronological order here. The rest of it, like the business side, is all through word of mouth. So friends that you trust in your network, it's simple. You just ask for referrals, and if you work with them and you like that particular realtor or inspector or appraiser, then I continue to work with them. If not, I just move on to another person. Yeah.
I guess a follow-up question, what sort of tools do you use to evaluate whether a particular property is a good investment at that time? Trends?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good question too. The financial analysis, if you reach out to me, I'll send you a spreadsheet. I have it all entered, but I've shared with some people the 1% rule. Have you heard of it? Or? Yeah, I'll give you an example. 1% rule is if the purchase price is $1,000, right? If the local market rent is like $1,000 or more, then it's a good, so that's just to gauge, like a ballpark. But some people I've heard like they're getting 2%, and so that's pretty good. Yeah.
2 questions.
Uh-huh.
Do you have your real estate license?
No, I'm not a broker. I'm not a realtor. I'm an investor. So that's what I look for. So, yeah.
Have you thought about it? I mean, does that bother you that you're giving away money to the people that are buying your houses for you? I mean, have you given that? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. It's the amount of time. I'm really tired of taking exams.
Yeah.
So I'm really sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it. So I don't want to, the amount of time it would take to get the license versus just paying them, it's like time versus money. So yeah.
Second
Yeah.
question is, I'm curious about Airbnb. I have a rental property
Uh-huh.
currently. I'm hesitant to do Airbnb because it seems like you have to be constantly moving.
Yeah. Airbnb it can be, some people love it. The question was Airbnb. So some people love it, some people hate it. I really love it because it's almost like a platform. It's almost like LinkedIn, but except you're just renting out units. But they do have rules. If you don't respond within 24 hours, you're dinged. If you have cancellations, so it does get painful sometimes. But the potential, for example, Airbnb fee is like 3% versus like a realtor. If I went through a realtor, they would take a whole month off. So that's almost like 10%, a little under 10%. So it's 3% versus 10%. So sometimes you have to follow the rules. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you, please, what are your expectations for the market in the next 5 to 10 years?
His question was, I think that's what we're all wondering. That's a good question because interest rates are going up, and I'm familiar with Houston real estate. I know that, for example, in the Med Center, the rate of appreciation has slowed down. But it's slowed down, but it's still appreciating, right? But it all depends, because for example, in the Houston Heights area, that's like a booming place. People are like paying like $700, like $800, just people from outside. I think that those areas are just pockets of bubbles. And again, it's all location dependent. It's like where you live and things like that. There's a lot of factors. Yeah.
One question and one comment. So I'll start with the comment. So I've also lived in Houston, and I think that market works well in Houston because there is the medical center, which is basically a mini city within Houston where there are hospitals. As far as that I can see, every building in that vicinity is a hospital. So I think that's a very unique real estate opportunity that I don't know that can transfer easily throughout the U.S.
Right.
I don't know if you agree or disagree.
No, I agree because that's what I was talking to some of you guys this weekend. I almost got lucky because it was like I'm from Houston. I went to med school there. I know all their needs once. I grew up there. It was almost life, just perfect timing, everything. It's not that same in California and Chicago. It's hard to get in, and they have a lot of rental regulations. And New York City, that's even harder. Houston is, that's why I said it was like, in the beginning, it's a very unique, because it's like, it has like very good value for the price. And so it was almost cheaper to own. It was cheaper to own than it was to rent. You don't find that quite often anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great, thanks. And then the other question I have for you is, have you worked with one realtor in finding your properties? Or
Yeah.
do you serve a
Yeah.
person
Oh,
over time?
yeah, that's a, what's your name?
Eva.
Eva, yeah, Eva, that's a good question. She said, what relationship with realtors? I used one realtor. I met him back in '09. It was actually just through a networking event. But when you find the realtor, if you're interested in investing, find a realtor that invests in properties as well, because he'll know your needs and wants, and versus someone who's just looking to show homes or places. They're just looking to make that sale so that they can get their commission. You know, they have their niche. If you're looking for a home, that's fine. But I work with a realtor who has like investing experience. So he's like a property manager. He works with a title company. He invests in real estate as well. So look for that as well. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for that great presentation.
Oh, thank you.
My question is, are your investment properties all around where you live? You live in Houston and your properties are in Houston? Or
Yeah. All in Houston, all in Houston. So all Med Center. My wife and I have a home in Sugar Land, but it's not rented, but because she works in the Med Center, so we just live there during the week. And all my rentals are like within 1 to 2 miles of each other. So
I guess if I'm thinking of doing it, but the area that I'm living in is not a good place to invest, and I want to invest in other cities, do you have any advice on how to go about?
Good. That's contact me. We'll talk, and then because it's complicated. It depends on just a lot of things. But yeah, no problem.
To eventually get out of doing medicine.
Well, again, it's a personal. I mean, if you like.
To replace what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like, for example, my colleagues, they live in the most exclusive suburbs. You know, they have 800,000 mortgages, higher. They have 3, 4 kids. They're plastic surgeries, and they're driving these fancy cars. I prefer just a very modest, simple style, and prefer to just invest back into my nieces, or invest in travel, invest in people, invest in the company. It's a personal. What are your expenses?
Well, you had said 10.
Yeah.
For some like
Yeah.
that's it? 10?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's been enough to provide stable, passive, 6-figure income. Yeah. Good question. Yes. Oh, no money. Contact me. Oh, yeah, contact me. All right. Thank you.